David Kraus could not be here. He's the CEO, along with his wife, of I AM, which is really is a digital power lending story. And that is, I'm going to get into this very quickly, and that is, we lent approximately $1.75 million to the Krauses through their business, A5, to go and acquire the restaurant group, which was Prep Kitchen. We got a 50% equity stake. There was effectively 98%. When the loan gets paid back, they go to 49, we stay at 51. So not only do we get all of our money back for digital power lending, making that loan, we get cash flow from the loan, and then we maintain an equity stake long term. So this is a kind of an eclectic transaction that we think will provide long-term upside. That keeping of the 51% equity, and even if we get diluted down, is the sort of icing on the cake. This is the inside of one of the Prep Kitchens. They're very nice. Any of you shareholders who want to go to a Prep Kitchen, they're in San Diego, San Marcos, Little Italy in downtown, La Jolla, and Del Mar. There's 4 locations. I think David would like to expand to 100 if you asked him, but we are not going to provide that capital for that expansion. It first opened in 2009 in San Diego. It has a great reputation. The food is very comfort food. It is part of the DPW family of companies because of that loan. Many people say to me, "The heck are you doing owning Prep Kitchen?" Run by great operators. It's run by great operators. They are a profitable division of DPW Holdings. I want to say this again. That division makes a profit. Okay, so when everyone asks why I'm in the restaurant space, they make a profit. Unlike some other divisions that aren't there yet, they make a profit. But we got the holding because of the loan. I happen to have experience in the restaurant space, so I was very comfortable making that large loan. I think Billy was a little more gun shy, but I encouraged him. And so we have a big stake in the company, presently 98%. I expect that stake to go down as they pay the loan back. These two run the company. Deborah Kraus came from Cheesecake Factory. She ran Pure Nightclub, second to none in terms of operators. The chef came from Wynn. I'm going to make a forward-looking comment to give people sort of an overview of where we are with this, and that is a little bit of a hidden fact, which is out there in the public, people don't know to really see it, I guess, is that the old Avalanche owns Restaurant Capital Group. We longer term think that Prep Kitchen, Restaurant Capital Group, Julia, and the other portfolio of restaurants that potentially could be roll up into like a restaurant brand thesis, and that the digital power shareholders, the DPW shareholders, end up owning a stake by getting a special dividend. We haven't quite figured out how we'll spin it off, but we are probably in the 80% plus range that a year to 2 years from now or less, that the restaurant group isn't part of DPW Holdings, but we reward shareholders with some form of a dividend in a profit-making venture in the restaurant space. This would be culmination of us getting our money paid back to digital power lending and us monetizing this. This could come sooner rather than later because we're really focused on matching our long-term assets with long-term borrowed capital versus right now we kind of are sideways with upside down a little bit with a lot of borrowed short-term capital with a long-term asset. But believe it or not, we're comfortable with the investment. We're comfortable in the restaurant space there. I realize for a lot of people, meatballs and missiles don't make sense. I know when I'm at board meetings with Amos says to me, let's go meet and have a meatball while we're talking about missiles. So it doesn't. It is what it is. The Pure Nightclub Management Group did about $80 million in revenue. Deborah and David have sort of a long vision of rolling out throughout California. They will need to have access to capital on their own, which is kind of the thesis about some of the portfolio companies that DPW Holdings owns. So I figured this presentation would be short. Does anyone have any questions about the restaurant space? Any of you guys want to talk about the meatballs we serve or anything like that? So this is really strategic. It's really an investment that came about through the lending portfolio. As an entree to this, one of the things that we do in Merchant Cash Advance with Digital Power Lending is lend to restaurants. And they're an important user of that service because they have these peaks and troughs in terms of when they need capital. So I wouldn't be surprised if the restaurant space grew as a total part of our portfolio, but through the advent of loans and transactions on the Merchant Cash Advance side. I can't tell you enough how we like the business, we like the people that are running it, but we are keenly aware of deployed capital and where we can put it. And I think as Will and his team, David and Ken, go through this migration of what makes the most sense for deployed capital, it probably makes the most sense for Restaurant Capital Group to ultimately, and Restaurant Capital Group and I AM, and the group of restaurant investments to be spun out. And that probably happens, in a perfect world, it happens this year. One of the things that Will is emphasizing to me about our transactions is that we focus on some of the ones that really are low-hanging fruit for us right now. And so it's probably a later stage. When you think a later stage opportunity?
I would.
Right. You want to speak about this at all?
You got it.
Did I cover that?
You've got I AM covered.
I got it. Okay. Any questions about I AM? You sure, Darren? You want to talk about pasta or something? Okay. Like I said, if you're in San Diego, you should try the restaurants. They're wonderful, and they are producing money. And if you're a DPW shareholder, I would go try it out because this is the one area that's making you money right now.